Are we recording?
I should bloody hope so.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
God damn it, I hope.
Welcome back to Me Time, everyone. Hang on a minute. What's the name of the theme this month? Shit. Okay, we're back. Definitely didn't forget the name of the theme this month. Haha.
No? What do you mean?
So yeah, exactly. We don't do scripts here. We don't. We always go off the cuff. We're always improvising. But yes, welcome back to Me Time. You might have noticed, also in the live stream, if you attended last week, that something has changed about Me Time. Um, we look a little bit more clear and beautiful. We've had a little bit of an upgrade. We're not quite 60 frames a second just yet.
Not quite.
We'll
People.
we'll get there.
Upgrades.
Upgrades, people. Upgrades. How appropriate for the theme of this month.
Yeah.
But yes, we're slowly increasing the budget everywhere that we can. And a good way for you guys to help if you wanted to, or I'd say a good way, an appreciative method if you want to see Me Time um, heading in this direction to new heights, to more frequent episodes, to a better budget, to get at more Me Time to you.
Mhm.
Elliot and I are proudly announcing the coffee page
Yes.
for Me Time.
Yeah,
We've had
before
this.
someone?
Yeah, we've had this on the back burner for a while.
Yeah.
We just needed to get it all set up and ready to go. But
Yeah.
as of episode 36, it is ready. It is going to be in the link of every Me Time episode, old and new.
Yeah.
And if you head on over to Coffee, any amount of supporting us, it will it will benefit Me Time greatly for you.
Yeah.
Benefits for all of that to come as well. So head on over to the Coffee page for more details there, guys. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, without further ado, because of the budget increase, we are proud to announce the new theme this month of May. And the theme is called Artificial World. So what is Artificial World going to be about, Elliot?
Ooh, so it's a bit of artificial intelligence. I guess convenience could be a conversation as well. And what creativity truly sort of means, I think, is probably another good conversation to have a look at.
It's a passionate topic close to Elliot and I that we wanted to cover. There's several movies and TV shows that we will relate to during our discussions. But overall, yes, the all-encompassing AI that has very quickly become part of day-to-day activities, careers, social lives. It's there now.
It's creeping in.
It is creeping in is a good way. Instead of saying taking over, it's creeping in.
Yeah.
I'd say is the more appropriate term for now.
Mm.
So yes, tune in for this month for Artificial World for that sort of stuff. So I think a good place for us to start would be sort of our experience with AI, because I don't know, we have we have similar opinions about it,
Yeah.
but it'd be good to know where did it begin for you and I, I'd say.
I
for AI.
mean,
You and I for AI.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of, I don't really enjoy using it. I've had to use it occasionally, but I don't rely on it. We're part of that old school era where we used to sort of have to think about what we're going to say, or phrase something, and it may be incorrect, but it would still be sort of phrased in our words rather than sort of somebody else's or something else's. So I've had to use it. There is an Instagram page that I have used to create a logo for something. Not it was crazy out of desperate times, but my other logos have been proudly sort of created by a friend of mine, who I salute to for his creativity for that one. It definitely comes in useful in time as regards to when you're trying to search something up, but I also tend to double check it. Critical thinking, as you might say.
So my experience of I'd say it's almost similar to yours. I know there is a lot of times where AI has been there without me realizing,
Mm.
and to an extent, well, not even to an extent, we have the voice commanded support um, platforms. I'm going to say it very quietly so she doesn't hear Alexa. What? No, she heard. I remember someone in my life had a massive problem with me saying that Alexa was a she when it should be an it, or
Mm.
because
Yeah, yeah.
robots aren't real. Um, to be, like, I get it, but the fact that they had a massive problem and said, "Why are you acknowledging them as a person?" It's it's weird.
That is strange. I mean, it is inanimate, sort of.
Mm,
Um,
I get it, but I think they got a little bit too
oh,
heated
well, leave it
about
to
it.
you. Hang on, wait.
I was just like, yo, is that yeah? Are you? So I've had that, and I will say I don't really use that sort of stuff that much. The only benefits that I have had from them is playing music. I asked them to play music, but I mean, I could pick up my phone, connect it to the speaker myself, and do that. When I
Yep.
asked them to play music, I'd say 80% of the time they play the music I want to, and the other 20% of the time they mishear me and play something completely
Oh, no.
different. Or they go, "I'm sorry, I'm having trouble connecting to the internet." I'm like, you don't need the internet to play music.
No,
Like,
no.
I've downloaded those albums. I get she needs to probably go through the ether or something like that, but you know.
Or
Anyways,
have you?
yeah. Anyways, so further from that, AI then started becoming a little bit more prominent in society. You had AI assisted results, and namely Chat GPT
Mm.
coming in. And everyone was telling me to use Chat GPT.
Yeah, no, same.
It wasn't really an option for Google. Google now does AI summaries at the top of the
Mm.
page whenever you search something up. Before that, you'd have to find all of the sources yourself. The most relevant ones would be the first result, the least relevant ones would be the last result.
Mm.
But now AI does all of the work for you, and it generalizes a summary response. And we've used AI for the AI summary responses to help us with the tech
Mm.
of me time when we were figuring out the two microphones, when the resolution of me time wasn't fantastic, when we were up the ground running about looking into podcast stuff, the AI summary responses were there and we did use them
Yeah, we did use them, but we also did double check with the old YouTube tech support. So.
because we found that the AI summaries weren't helping.
No, they
Especially
left they left out the context. Who would have thought it?
for the resolution and the microphones, they were not helping
No, no.
one bit. They were giving us the standard response, like, "Oh, you should just do this." I'm like, "I did it. I did do that. It's not working." And every time I looked it up again, they were giving the same method each
Mm.
time. And I will get into this later into the episode because AI formulates its response based off of the general consensus,
Mm.
doesn't necessarily mean it's the one answer. Anyways, moving on.
Yes.
Chat GPT.
Mhm.
Because we had those AI summary responses. Chat GPT, I couldn't meld with it.
No,
I couldn't.
I was the weird. Oh, I am the weird guy who kind of says please and thank you to ChatGPT. um, I don't know why. I just sort of just by just pure programming, I guess. I don't know. Just sort of like be polite, just
Yeah,
in case.
yeah.
um, but it's very strange when you do have a conversation. When it first came out, I had that kind of conversation with it, going. "You're gonna take over the world." What would you do? Um,
Interesting. You asked it that.
yeah, although it gave a sort of very rules-based response. So it didn't actually answer my questions. Is that that sucks. You've apparently been able to get those responses. You gotta, like, really wind up the wall before it kind of gets any sort of response.
I see. Um, I was advised to use ChatGPT for when I was doing my writing
Mm.
for D&D. Realm of Desperos, check it out on MJ Media now. Um, the Realm of Desperos, I'm proud to say, has had absolutely no influence from AI, and it never will.
Mm.
AI will not be part of my writing. It will not be part of my art. It won't be part of my creative skills or portfolio.
Mm.
Because when I asked, obviously, I'm also a big believer in don't knock it until you try it. Um, I did try ChatGPT because who knows? I could have turned around and gone like, "Oh, this is great." Um, I found it to be a very a yes type person. So every time I said something, they'd be incredibly supportive of my work, and I instantly, after about a couple of times I typed in like, "I'm writing a story." "Okay, let me hear the story." I typed in a few lines. They were just basically saying, "This is great. This is fantastic. This is awesome. This is great." And I also am that type of person to go, "I don't want you to say it's great. I want you to help me. I want you to give me feedback about," and a lot of you are probably thinking now, like, "Matt, you should have said, 'Give me feedback.'" Well, to my response is, I did. I did ask it and say, "Can you please give me
Mhm.
feedback?" And they then started to suggest ideas that I have already thought of.
Mhm.
And then I came back to that and said, "Don't you think that's a tad predictable? It's
Mm.
been done before." And they go, "You're right." I'm like, "I don't want you to tell me that I'm right. I want you to tell me I'm wrong and give me evidence that suggests," well, AI can't do that.
I mean, AI's base programming to some degree is kind of business to a degree or marketing. So, like,
Mm,
it's always it's kind of its core processes. You know, the customer's always right is always right, sort of thing. So it can't answer back.
it's and then that is, of course, the debate when AI can.
Mm.
That's when people start realizing that AI has um, autonomy over itself, and that is when it is self-sufficient and can be its own functioning member of society and
Mm.
not be functioning without the influence of humans. That's when it starts becoming its own thing,
Yeah, yeah.
It's scary. It is a little bit scary, but also not in the regards of we are controlling AI, we're keeping it under our control. You have generative AI, which is learning and adapting all the time. But then that goes into the debate of should it always be under humans' control? Why are we nervous when AI gets out of our control?
Yeah, there was a video that came out recently, I think from China, where a scientific group um basically ask a robot to kind of create a mini rebellion with its counterparts.
Oh,
Um, so they're all cleaning robots, I think, in China, and they asked this one robot to kind of try and make the robots not do the work. Um, I don't know how it does that, but I just remember the video where the robot actually goes to them. I don't know what it does, but basically at the end of this video is that all the robots basically walk out. um,
do you know what? I don't think it. We constantly blame AI and it's so easy to blame AI for the the fall of creativity and the rise of almost dependence on that sort of thing. We solely blame AI. We shouldn't.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean,
It's not AI's fault.
I mean, to be honest, I think creativity died before AI even existed. So in regards to architecture, um, a lot of buildings these days or new builds these days are soulless. Very much sort of uh, white, clinical sort of houses with a very sort of like boring sort of lawn that's just grass. And but then you compare that to older builds, like cathedrals or Victorian era sometimes are quite nice, where they got timber, uh, more sort of thatched roofing. The gardens themselves are a lot more have got more character to them. And but they do have issues over time, like the wood warps. But again, there's character to that.
I think that's a very good way of looking at it. Character. I
Mm.
was going to say personality
Mhm.
because the house that one lives in represents who they are,
Mm.
and I would agree. There's a lot of architecture nowadays that is very almost like clone troopers. View it like
Yeah, I
that.
think that's fair. Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
just it's part of a mass. They serve a purpose and they are there they will function and do a job, but they're just there they're just all one and the same,
But
you know?
it's interesting, like, anything we touch these days, that even our cars, compared to the older models are a lot less they've got
Mm,
less character to them.
mm.
I think the newest car with a bit of character left would be the Mazda MX-5, kind of, but I think in regards to maybe the best characters, like the old Jags and the old Aston Martins, just they've got and even the Beetle. Like just the faces on the grills, just the way they're put together, that you can see that someone sort of thought about
I
it.
see.
But the newer cars these days are just plastic blobs in my eyes. The new Land Rover Defender that came out recently, absolutely fortune to buy, but it looks like a Duplo car. It looks like a 5-year-old sort of like
What
drew
do
it
you
up.
mean you don't like the Cybertruck, Elliot?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
The Cybertruck is the greatest car ever known. It's oh, come on, it's terrible. It
Yeah, so
look
that was a weird one. Yeah,
it's
don't get that one at
what were
all.
they
Like,
thinking?
we crammed tech into it, great, but you made it look like again, you made it look like a triangle.
Mm. What was it in London the other day when I was out? I was out with my mates and we saw the prototype for a self-driving car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was so bizarre. It looked like it had a wagging tail. There was cameras all around it, and they had like
Oh,
the
sorry, yep.
rotating plastic.
Mm,
Um, Obviously there was someone in the car driving it because it
yeah.
was only a prototype. But okay, don't get me wrong. There are, and we're getting close to it. There are benefits to AI. I won't doubt it for a
No.
second. There are so many benefits, but for now, to keep on the topic of conversation without digressing too much, we'll focus on the detriment
Yeah.
because, like you said, creativity did die before AI, or it is, in my firmest belief, can be rebooted and brought back to life.
Yeah.
And it gives me so much encouragement, and I am very much behind this movement of not condoning and supporting generative AI for art
No.
and stories and reports, writing.
Mm.
The It wasn't an insult, but it became a very big concern when I wrote a portfolio of work. I wrote a cover letter and I'd spent quite a lot of time designing it myself. And I'm a big fan of descriptions. So yes, of course I needed to cut descriptions down. And I remember I sent this description off to be seen, obviously, for the application.
Mhm.
And the response was this was done with AI. And I was like, excuse me?
Yeah, yeah.
No, it hasn't. Like, and they obviously didn't believe me. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna. At this point, it was not worth it. Do you want me to come to the work placement and show you the proof that it's not AI? At this
Mm.
point, I was just like, it's not even worth it. If that's the way that you look at me as a person and my writing, then it's clearly not going to work for both of us.
Well, it's interesting how they picked it out, like, this is clearly AI. Well, you gotta look at the contrast of someone's mind in that case. If they believe that anything they see is AI, um, one, how often do they themselves use it, and how often are they themselves thinking? For them to sort of have a critical response on something that wasn't used by AI,
Mhm.
um, would suggest that, they if someone more intelligent th if someone more intelligent than them is writing something and they don't see that as pure intelligence, then you gotta wonder how they view the world in that case.
Digital assets and tools, so computers, iPads, and iPhones, could not be what they are now without the human brain. It is fact.
Yeah.
We, as a race, created all of this big platform. We created
Mm.
artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Does that not show enough proof that the brain can still create fantastic things?
Well, even in from what I understand, even in, like, neuroscience, like, the brain is still a mystery. We don't know, like,
There's still so much more we need to discover about
yeah,
ourselves as a race.
even in basic biology, um, I myself am a tree surgeon. Um, you know, trees, we still don't have a clue how they really work. We've got an idea now. We've got a good idea to work on them now. But in regards to how they properly adapt to things, we have an idea. We're still guessing, really.
Mhm.
That's the same with a lot of the world at the minute. Like we think we've kind of outscienced the world, and then we find out there's still mysteries to be had, sort of thing. Um,
That's why I'm terrified of the ocean.
oh
Uh,
man,
don't even get me started on that. It's like we know more about space, the vast, infinite unknown. We know more about that than the large body of water on our planet, which for many of you is probably on your front doorstep.
yeah,
How is that not the most terrifying fact? If you go into the deep blue abyss, we know less about that than space.
yeah,
That's so scary.
bonkers.
Here's the thing. I am I don't like I don't like AI art purely because, and it is fact, that it generates art based on current media that exists.
Mm.
AI cannot create its own art. Maybe in the future it can, but it cannot because generative AI and most AI presents what it knows from facts that already exist and media that already exists. And then that is essentially
Yeah,
it is copyright in a way.
there is a counterpoint to that, but I can't remember the name of what you call it. I haven't done it in so long.
Mm.
What was it you used to do where you cut out pictures,
Collage.
collage? Yeah, it's basically collage in
Yeah,
digital.
essentially.
But then collage itself was art. They're going, eh.
And you've got so many talented, awesome artists and creators out there
Mm.
that put their heart and soul into these projects. And I solely believe in the future that they are going to be the defining staples of the creative industry. I'm such a supporter of that. But
But in saying that, would you have to discount collage as art if you were to deny that AI does a digital collage? Would you then have to deny that the collage itself is art and
no,
just go for paintings?
no, not no. I wouldn't say so. It's because AI very much takes what has been created and just get. I can't say why,
Yeah.
but it gives it, and this is the probably the most simplistic way of me to say it. It gives this really artificial, stale look to it.
Soulless.
Yeah, it's soulless.
Mm.
It is you just see it in the generation of the art when they present it. They make it almost too perfect in a
Yeah.
way.
I think that's a topic we can definitely get onto on, the next episode and kinda get into the meat of it, like,
Yeah,
the idea of perfection that everyone sort of, like, scrambling towards because we got this sort of perfection era, like, everything's clean and smooth and all that sort of stuff, and you get down to the bones of it, and no one is really perfect, nothing's ever perfect,
of
and we just
course.
don't know, we just sort of strive for this stuff, like, it's a bit
But
weird.
then you've got people that have these really unique ideas. And then the counter argument to that is, oh, you could tell AI to do that. AI will do all the work for you. Like, well, are we preaching laziness? Why are we preaching laziness when people can actively create these specific visions that you have asked for even better, manually go in and do all of this stuff? And AI is just, yes, it does it in 2 seconds, or you could use it for idea generation, or
Mhm.
if you ask for a logo design. I've seen some posters created for promotional material that look terrible.
Mm.
And people just go like, "Oh yeah, that'll do," and they chuck it online. Like, are you mad?
Yeah.
Like, I could have created something in Word better than that,
Mm.
in clip art. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
goodness me, why are we normalizing that sort of stuff? I don't understand. Coffee. It does really help Elliot and I get through an episode of Me Time. If you do consider supporting us on Coffee, just know there will be more Me Time at a higher production, all for you. So please, if you feel like it, consider supporting us on Coffee today. Because who doesn't love a good cup of coffee?
I don't think we appreciate labour anymore, though, that's the thing. So, as someone who works manually quite a bit, actually, there's probably a bigger story to this. We had, was it last year? We were doing a flat for somebody in our family. I can't get into context for it. But, we'd done all the work for them, like, we'd replastered it, refit the kitchen, various other things, and they came in and said, "Thank you," but didn't understand the work that had gone into it. And I think that again, but then you could impose that onto a lot of other situations that I work in, generally speaking. So as a mechanic, in my time when I was a mechanic, again, same sort of thing applies where you do the job and someone says thank you for doing it, but they don't understand the literal blood, sweat, and tears that you go through to change those brake pads or to change that exhaust. Because I'll tell you something, that exhaust of those brake pads don't usually come off easily. Um, but no one sort of appreciates it these days. Same for like, same for like the physical tree work that you do. I think tree work is a bit easy to understand because you can once you do see someone up a tree, you can kind of understand what's going on. But the long term physical implications for that work, I don't think that's recognized enough either. We kind of praise these without being too derogatory. We kind of praise these desk jobs to a degree and kind of assume that's labor because they've got some big paycheck at the end of it. Um, but in the grand scheme of things, what they're doing is not a lot compared to someone who's working and building houses and doing the part and making the systems themselves run. I don't think that's appreciated as much.
So to go on with that, I will say in the politest way, humanity can be, and as we have seen, its own undoing.
Mm.
I get it, and we're big advocates for me time on me time. After a big, long day of work, excuse me, all you want to do is just have a break. Just relax, chill. I get it. Work is hard. Labor is hard. It gets us food on the table. It
Mm,
gets us money, and it makes us a functioning member of society.
mm,
Without that, if you take it all away, obviously it's a dream. It's a dream world.
mm.
Obviously, I don't get to work. I can do the things that I like all the time, but you can't do that without money, and you can't have money without a job. You
Mm.
need a job. So, for many people that have spent all of their time finding what job that they really want to do, to have AI turn around and go,
Yeah.
sorry, you're not, this job is completely obsolete because I'm doing it for you.
Mm.
Get another job that AI is not going to do,
Yeah.
which is only a matter of time before AI takes over that as
Yeah.
well. Can you imagine how soul destroying that is for them? Can you see why people would turn around and start taking AI as that? Oh, you know what? I don't want to do this desk job. AI
Mm.
can format this email for me because I don't want to do this. I
Yeah.
can understand why people use AI to that degree.
There's a really I mean, I won't wanna get into it in the next episode, kinda get into the meat of it all. But there's a really interesting conversation to be had when it comes in, because I don't think it's a matter of it won't, it's a matter of when, especially with the current climate we're currently going into. Um, and there will have to be a complete diversion to the life we currently live right now. Um, and, when it gets down to that sort of thing, how are we gonna adapt then? That will be the next question. Because if we're seeing now influencers and all that sort of stuff go, "Oh, work is your purpose. Work is how you get money and all that sort of stuff. Working is your purpose. There's nothing else to do but work." Is it? We didn't used to work. From If we're going right back in time, we were hunter gatherer sort of thing. Now, I'm not suggesting we're gonna go back to hunting and gathering again. Um, but I am suggesting that I think, hobbies and keeping your mind active outside of a working environment will be the way for someone to move forward in that type of world. Um, but how you get there will be the interesting one.
Listen, we have been, as a species, idolizing and working towards the idea of creating artificial intelligence for the longest time. I don't doubt that this was always headed our way. Artificial intelligence was only a matter of time. Like you
Mm,
said, I'm not saying get rid of it
no.
because artificial intelligence has its benefits. It does. Let's take an approach from a medical perspective.
Mhm,
Can you imagine the benefits that AI would have if it's funded completely and fundamentally towards finding cures for diseases
mm.
and making sure that if hospitals are overworked, the assistance of reports there, maybe?
I mean, we're kind of seeing it happen anyway now. I think I saw an article where a robot just complete the heart surgery. Um,
Crikey,
yeah,
really?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I did. But like the very sort of intricate operations, AI or robotics is definitely kind of getting involved in that. But I think it'll be interesting in regards to, will AI fund itself? Will the labour become its own sort of um, self-regulating sort of ring, for lack of a better term?
Now, this has been absolutely picked apart and represented in media like
Mm,
crazy. Take your pick. There's so many movies. The one that comes to mind straight away is Age of Ultron
mm,
for me, because one of my favorite comments of an Age of Ultron video on YouTube is, Ultron was awake for all of 10 seconds, realized humans were trash, and thought, yeah, they've got to go. He said an artificial intelligence went onto the internet, basically looked about what all humans have done and said, yeah, they got to go. They're done.
Yeah, I think there's probably a concerning real world consequence to that because like you see it in conversations where a lot of people these days, because of climate controversy, I'm going to pick up on it. Are they going? Oh, we're the equivalent to like bugs or whatever, but we are cockroaches and we destroy everything, all that sort of stuff. I don't think it's completely true. Granted, we can do stuff to make things better, but to just condemn ourselves to death because we exist is, I don't think, works. And if AI is currently working on the idea that it gets this information from the internet, if that's a common thought process, just like the butterfly effect, then I think that reality could very much come to fruition if you
It's
look at it.
dangerous purely because AI views things very black and white.
Mm,
The I will always be with this. Humanity exists because of emotions, and
mm,
emotions can be only real felt by those with chemistry in their
mm,
body. You know, brains, going back to that neuro aspect of it, is the big driving factor behind how we feel. And artificial intelligence lacks that. So it views things very black and white.
mm.
So when films turn around and say, just like, okay, the world is dying, we don't want the world to die. So, how do I prevent the world from dying? Let's look at the big factors. Humans are causing global warming.
Mm.
Humans are going to war, causing conflict with one another. They're destroying this world. So, to prevent the world from being destroyed, humans have got to go.
Yeah, you can see the rational thought behind it to a
Mm.
degree. But I also think, no animal is clean.
No, of course not.
Uh, you know, we say that animals are innocent, but if animals were to live on our moral plane, we would jail a lion for murdering a deer. Um, but it's doing what it does naturally, and that's not clean or innocent if in the grand scheme of things. But it's doing a immoral act to survive. And if you place it onto the human psychology, then you got you. We have the benefit of living on a higher, more complex moral plane. So we have to understand that we're not clean or we're not perfect, but we can work to try and be better. Um, and but that means that we've kind of got to be a bit more critical on how we think these days.
This is probably going to be silly, but there is a quote, there's a line of dialogue in a Transformers film that I actually really
Hmm.
liked. And it reflects this conversation quite well. You've got a conversation between a human character, can't remember his name, and Optimus. Cade, that's the human.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously humans in that movie are pretty trash. They're destroying the Transformers, and they're
Mm.
using the Transformers to create their own tech because they're just like, you know, we're masters of our world, so basically go away. We want to prevent you're causing loads of conflicts, and we
Hmm.
want to prevent conflict, but we're going to use you to stop that, which
Yeah.
kind of relates to this conversation in a way. But my favorite conversation is logically Optimus turns around and goes just like, why should I fight for humans if they're constantly making mistakes all the time? And now, even after all I've done, you're basically harvesting our corpses to create your own tech.
Yeah.
His response is, I'm not saying have faith in who we are.
Mm.
He's like, because we make mistakes all the time, but sometimes from those mistakes we learn and we can create
Yeah.
fantastic things. So then he turns around again and said, "You got to have faith." He goes specifically, "You got to have faith, Prime, not in who we are, but who we can be."
Mm.
And that was the quote that then reached him and turned around and go like, "You're making mistakes now, but that doesn't mean you're going to make mistakes forever." And that makes us human.
Mm.
And of course, again, you look at AI turning around and giving us ChatGPT facts about the knowledge that we have created so far, and then it gives us the wrong answer. We turn around and go like, just like, "Oh no, why did you give me the wrong
Yeah.
answer?" AI turns around and goes like, "Oh, thank you for pointing that out. I'll look for the right answer."
Mm.
Then you can turn around and say, just like, "There's a library over there, and there's Google where you could have searched that yourself." ChatGPT, weirdly, like a human, will also get it wrong on
Mm.
so many occasions because it's only going off of the stuff that we have given it.
Yeah.
So don't be dependent on that. And likewise with artistic creations, it's only going off of the stuff that exists. Humans can create new artwork, which
Mm.
should be the focal point, not AI splicing some soulless creation for people to look. I'm sorry, I will always be against AI art,
No,
always.
I mean that's fair. I mean it very is soulless, but it definitely is soulless. But I think it's also probably wise to point out that AI is biased by its own programming. So you can't trust it anyway. So all those sort of generated news pieces that you see online, um, you got to question every news source that you see. Um, we had this weird idea that I mean, it's gonna be we had this weird idea, but because we're not experts, we can't think a certain way, or we wait for an expert to tell us something. And it's like, no, by our own rights, we have a you know ex, experts by their nature are human, and only difference is they've researched that particular knowledge set. But what makes doesn't make you any different to when they started. Um, a lot of people are saying that the problems now are too complex. They've never been simple in the first place. So to it's on you to research that and come to your own conclusion in regards to, is the expert right? Is he wrong? Are they biased? Are they not? Um, rather than just going, oh, expert is this, and I should not think any further because he's told me the answer. It's like, no, hang on.
We got where we are now, discovering, not going off of what already exists.
mm,
Again, take a look at the first um, caveman or cavewoman.
mm,
Um, they didn't they didn't go just like, "Oh, I know I can create fire
mm.
by gathering kindling and striking it with flint and steel and friction."
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't know that.
No.
They discovered it
Mm,
and just so happened to go like, "Okay, I've discovered a fact. That's going to be how I move forward." Humans got where we are now by discovery and honing their skills to create new things to work towards a future that is brand new.
mm,
Going off of what we know is going to help us,
mm,
but to move forward, we've got to keep finding and adapting new methods and try new things because we can't like that gets even deeper now. It's like going in a circle. You can't move forward by going backwards.
yeah.
You can't move forward by standing in the same spot doing the same thing that you know
Mm,
fails over and over and over again.
yeah.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
We
You
got
can't yeah.
we got too comfortable ticking boxes. The standards of, "Oh, this standard works, so we'll stick to the standard." So hang on, well, we're just I mean, granted, the boxes are there because experiments have gone wrong in the past, but in the same respect, we haven't really evolved. We haven't really done anything that creative in a while. Like all going back to the cars again, all the cars are built to a certain standard, but no one's really decided what happens if we just try this? What happens if we just try this? Or but they've got to fit a certain safety standard. Granted, is there a reason for that? Yeah, sure. But why don't we try something different in regards to trying to evolve safety? The cars don't have to be massive these days, and the tech doesn't have to be massive. So can we make the cars nicer again? Uh, Again, can we make houses more aesthetic rather than this sits at a certain safety standard or a certain English standard, or whatever, of building? What happens if we decide to miss a box out on ticking, but in the end result is actually a bit more unique? Um, I think people are afraid. People are definitely afraid to break the rules that we're now. We've been so conformed to the rules
It's
and
a
how they
very good
work.
way of looking at it. People are afraid to break the rules.
Mm,
Um, Weirdly reminded me of a specific scene from Invincible Series 2. Have you seen Series 2 yet?
I think I have.
Okay. There's this one scene where Eve comes along and she's trying to make a difference, and a building that isn't that's been in disrepair, and everyone that lives in it since like post Omni Man versus
Hmm.
Invincible. Basically the builders are taking forever, and they're saying just like, okay, we need to really completely rebuild this. It's going to take ages. Eve can reconstruct matter from the groundwork up. She
Hmm.
can do it herself. So she just click of her fingers goes done,
Hmm.
building repaired, and everyone's like, oh yes, Eve, you did it.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
building's back. And the builders storm up to her angry, and us as the viewer think just like they're angry because you've taken our job, we're not going to get paid for this.
yeah,
Yes, they're angry for that, but they also turn around and say, do you even have the faintest idea how architecture works?
yeah,
Do you have the faintest idea why we are taking forever here? Because the foundations underneath this have also been affected.
yeah.
So Eve just goes, yeah, well, you're welcome. That's a very funny
Hmm.
way of showing it. 2 days later, the building collapses and all of the people that move back into it lose their lives.
Yeah,
And then the builders turn around and go, great, thank you, told you so. You're now responsible for the death of innocent lives.
yeah,
Because, and that is, I know Eve was a human, but you can look at that as a very AI example. AI goes, this is how you repair this. And then the builders turn around and go like, no, the foundations are broken. We need to tear it all down. A human can investigate that
yeah.
with that wealth of knowledge.
Mm.
But yes, okay, maybe one day AI can scan a building from the groundwork up and do that. But then that's a conversation for the next episode,
Yes.
and advancing. And then what on earth do humans do then? That's scary.
Mm.
Being in the the safety net of something that we've created that isn't ready to be that safety net. That's,
Mm.
it just shouldn't be.
No,
It
no.
shouldn't be. It's okay, look, yes, there are benefits to AI. Again, the health benefits for this Sunday is going to be fantastic.
Mm.
Personally, I really like the AI studying a video and creating subtitles for it.
Mhm.
I think that's fantastic. AI's not been that good with auto-generated subtitles for a long time. So the fact that AI is now advanced to the point that it can look at a video, and probably this video, for example, if you
Mm.
put on the captions now, the captions are probably going to be massively accurate thanks to AI.
I don't think I think I looked at it out of curiosity last time and hit mistaken the word that I said. I was like, it's like,
It's not
oh
gonna be
no,
perfect, it's
no, no.
not, and if you have a human listening to that creates subtitles,
Mm.
it's a process that can be done. Believe me, for the first couple of Round the Desk for Us videos, I had to do that
Mm.
because AI was completely getting all of the words wrong, and that was because the audio was not great. That was a painful process. That took me ages. So again, there's also a difference. AI can do it, but it sometimes can't do it well, which is when you got to have the human to come in and to change it and to adapt it to something that does work. So there are benefits to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe some of you might like AI art generating ideas for you, and then from that basis, you create something new. Maybe. I still don't condone it personally, but that's just my opinion. I think you can create something from the groundwork up off of a brief of a couple of words. But, I still think this was a very beneficial episode for us because as me time, we don't limit ourselves to just TV and film. We talk about all media, and AI is all media at the moment. We briefly spoke about art in phase 1 too.
Yeah.
Um, gosh forbid the effect AI will have over manga and anime at some points.
There wasn't there an animation recently that used AI? Was it Spear? No, it wasn't. There wasn't Spear Hero X, but there was an animation that used AI briefly, and he got tanked. But yeah,
Really?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So again, I will recommend you watch the Agenda of Art, where we speak about the strain that animators go through for anime to get everything perfect, but it's all hand drawn. It's beautiful because humans have created that. And you look at an AI generated video, it's just all over the place. And then people say, just like, oh, but you can create good stuff with AI. I wonder how. Do you let AI keep on going and keep on going until you get the perfect video? Or do you go in and make changes? So, who in the end makes the final result? Is it AI or is it you,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
human? I wonder, you know? Um, but then there's that, yeah, there's mod. So I still think this is beneficial to talk about the all-encompassing AI. And we will. The plan was to start talking about TV shows for this, but we kind of got deep into
Yeah.
this. So
I,
we'll
I think I think next episode I think we'll end up doing the same
Well,
thing
we
where
will.
it's finished.
We promise we'll talk more about the TV shows and movie stuff that we normally do. But this was very passionate for us. It was very important for us to talk about. Um, there's a what is a closing remark? For me that I was thinking about it all episode about AI. Yes, I'm going to say this. Two things. Number one, Marvel has been lacking in quality for a very long time. It's been rushing the animators and the CGI animators, and the audience have been saying everything's sloppy because of it. Now that they're reducing the amount of movies that are coming out, and Doomsday's due at the end of the year, they obviously announced that it's AI enhanced and the CGI has been used with AI. They've turned around and they've said that. And obviously everyone's gone, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Um,
I forgot that they cut all their stuff, didn't they, as well? They cut all the CGI
Yeah.
stuff, so great.
they have. So that's their solution. They were overworking their animators, and instead of using AI to help them, they used AI to replace them.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Disney. Good job.
Well, I'm not completely sold on Doomsday anyway, but
So obviously the actors and actresses are going to big it up because they're in it, and I've seen positive reviews from all of them saying just like, whatever you think it is, it's not. So I'm still watching it out of curiosity. I
Yeah.
will because it's because there's characters in it that I've grown attached to, of
Yeah.
course. But I am gonna watch it so critically, and I will see because I don't know what the AI effects are gonna look like in that film.
Doctor Strange 3.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Anyways, but that's one thing I wanted to mention. And number two, there is also a comment that someone made recently about chatting to AI being a supportive thing for people that feel alone. And I couldn't help but feel that it was concerning
Yeah, I said that.
because the biggest thing that people need when they need someone to talk to. And I understand what it's like to feel lonely. Not everyone that you know will be able to talk to you
Mm.
at certain points because they've also got a life to live.
Yep.
There are still people, and I will say it, guys, I always will, like the Samaritans,
Mm.
that are there all the time, that do understand that human emotions are complex, that do understand that what you are going through is specific to you. And even though it might be a similar case to someone else, you're entitled to your own feelings and entitled to vent in your own complex, beautifully complex
Mm.
way, human way. You can't count on AI to be that person, to calm you down, to be that person all the time, because
Yeah, I think we get.
whatever you say to them is going to be retorted in a way that won't be helpful. If you want to talk to someone that
Mm.
will understand. Um, Anyways, we'll get into that in the next episode. Okay.
Mm.
But yes, okay. So thank you very much for tuning in to episode 36 of Me Time and the first episode of Artificial World.
Mhm.
This time next week we will get back into Artificial World. We'll dive into the bare bones of it a little bit more.
Mhm.
And there are movies that we wanted to talk about. Briefly spoke about
Yeah.
Age of Ultron today, but we really want to get into to some other stuff.
Mhm.
So we will.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Until then, take care of yourselves. The weather is getting slowly better, so get out in the sun and enjoy it if you can.
Yeah.
And when you're out in the sun enjoying yourself, take your headphones with you and tune into Me Time, because remember, there is always time for Me Time. Take care, guys.
Have a good week. See you soon.
Stay safe. Hey guys, thanks for watching Me Time, and if you haven't already,
Subscribe, like, and share if you like the content.
woo!